good evening. So instead of doing a podcast tonight, I'm gonna do a video. This whole Veterans Day thing, I've made my opinion on it fairly clear. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I have here is my book from the ship, United States Ship America, CV-66, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, 1990, 1991. This is one of the last things I have from my time in the Navy. My cruise jacket is somewhere. I wanted to show you my tree. It's bright. And most of the bulbs are on there still because obviously Taz isn't here to destroy them. So this book is in pretty tough shape, but I've carried it for a lot of years. Here we have like a map. The carrier experience. It was really cool being on a carrier. It truly is like a city. Like it's just like a floating city. This is just different departments, places. We hit Fort Lauderdale. I went to jail there. I know it's hard to believe, but I spent a couple nights in jail there. It's hard to explain. It's not important. This was pretty cool. Let's see my jammies down there. John J. Mazak, one of my, he was so cool. Speaking of being in trouble in the service, I went to court-martial with him, and he was just like my grandfather, right? Dude was he was really cool. Just some of the other things, and then this is pretty cool. That's a really cool picture. If you've never seen a carrier up close, until you've seen one up close, you can't even begin to understand how big they are. They are a monster, but really cool too. This just talks about the Operation Desert Storm chronology. Says February 10th, America had a beer day. I remember that because they had these long engine containers. I guess that's what you'd call them. I don't know. And it was filled with ice and soda, and there was just like a couple beers in there. If you found it, you got extra. And then if you had to check into this whole place, and you give them your name, and I think you got one or two. Some of the planes that were on the America, the F-14 Tomcat, to me, the sexiest airplane jet ever made. It's just, it's amazing. The EA-6 and EA-6E Intruder, the FA-18 Hornet, which is a really badass weapon too. I remember back to this one of my first watches on the bridge, or on the 011 level up by the signal bridge, was at night, and I could look down into the cockpit of these, and I used my binoculars to check out the control panel, and it was really kind of cool. I thought, I could probably figure that out. Probably not. I'm not very smart. See, now it's an F-14 sitting on a catapult. That just, that plane is just amazing. Plane taking off. Here's some stuff on the ship. I remember this guy. I believe his last name was Cersei. And I remember we'd all go to this strip club. I think it was called Clancy's. And he would challenge people to chugging beers, because dude literally could just tilt his head back, open his throat, and down an entire glass of beer in less than a second. It was pretty amazing. So Anchor, I believe, I want to say it weighs 30 tons or something like that. It's ridiculous how big that thing is. This is all the stuff we had on it: bakery, barbershop, fire station, galley. So the aft galley, which would be in the very back, I think they did chili at night, and it was like the best chili. It would gas you the hell up, but it was really cool chili. Just some more about, oh yeah, Fort Lauderdale. Went to jail there. What's up? Fleet Week, that was cool. That was really an amazing thing. There's our superstructure. I remember, so we stood watch. Here was the bridge, and then we stood. Well, that was probably fly. Here was the bridge. We stood watch over here. That's where I could look down. I was looking down into the cockpit of that airplane. Then up here, I remember we put like a satellite thing there. Okay, so painting the sides of an aircraft carrier, that was kind of my main thing. And if you've ever had the experience of painting an aircraft carrier with a 8-inch roller, it sucks. Not even gonna lie about that. It was the worst. Like we would go through so many of those things. And then this little boat here, there's a little John boat. I think that's what it's called, or punt boat or something like that. We'd have to paint the water line, and it sucked because you couldn't, it wouldn't stay, it wasn't like calm water, right? So the water line was always a little sketchy looking. Sanding or grinding, that was always a never-ending chore there. The almighty needle gun. If you ever had a hangover, like that was the worst chore to ever get. That's when we were in the shipyards, and change of command for the air wing. I'm just kind of going through some of this just to bring up, just kind of look back at some really cool stuff that went on. Fleet X. That's when you come out of the yards and you kind of get some things going. There was I believe that's a Sea Sparrow missile battery. I don't really remember. Virgin Islands, great place, beautiful place. That's the first place I tried weed. I was down there. Whoops, let's just go on through that. That's not important. Departure, December 28th. That's a really weird time because, like, I don't know, unless you've been on one of those, it's just hard to explain. Like, your bell-bottom wearing ass is going to sea for 6 months. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Desert Shield. Yeah, I was on the bridge of the carrier the night that it started. And it said, "Look out, Saddam. America's coming." That was kind of cool. Picture of the battle group. More of the battle group. I want to say there's a picture of the turnover, which was like when the two battle groups met, and there was like 2 carriers and like a ton of ships. Egypt was a really cool place. Suez Canal. Let me see if I can get that in there a little better. Yeah, it's funny because like people would be fishing like out in here in their little boats, and you get this monster of a ship coming through, and they don't even pay you any attention. They just like, whatever. So yeah, it was really cool. I think I went through it like 4 times. Okay, so as I was telling you, this little radar thing, these guys just came up here to pose for pictures, but me and a Master Chief and a couple others moved this up from, I want to say like the 170 foot to 194 foot mark, something like that. It was way up there, and you could see forever in there. Yeah, it's just some really kind of cool pictures transiting the Suez Canal. Desert Storm. So this is one of those pictures. There's 1, 2, 3 carriers, which is See if I can tilt this and get rid of that light. So there's 3 carriers in that picture. That's really cool. Talk about a show of power. That's a show of power. Oh, my nails, I gotta take my fingernail polish off. Just some more pictures of, we're seeing some marine detachment. Here, let me spin this around here. Mardette, as they were called. Just some more pictures of Tomcat. Superstructure at night looks pretty cool. That's a really cool picture. At night, like the little afterburners really light up everything. That's really cool. Desert Storm, the war zone. None of this would mean anything to me. I just know that it means a hell of a lot to somebody. Like writing on the bombs that they were dropping. Some more of those pictures, pretty cool. Persian Gulf, February to May. And that was at a time when there was a lot of mines in the water, and our berthing compartment for deck department was right at the water line in the front of the ship. So it was kind of weird. That was General Schwarzkopf, one of my absolute military heroes. That guy was so brilliant, and just, man, it was amazing. That guy was so ahead of it. Bahrain, I spent a couple weeks there with the Admiral staff waiting to go home. Bomb damage assessment. There's just a lot of things that through here that is kind of nice. The Highway to Hell. I used to think that was the road to 953 in Loveland, but it's it's actually there. It's in Baghdad. The ceasefire, so that's us, and I believe the 71 is an Enterprise. So yeah, that was really cool. Just some more of us chugging alongside another ship. So this is one of the coolest pictures. You got 4 carriers here. You talk about an immense show of power. I should have changed the lighting on this. Let's see if I turn it this way. So you got 4 aircraft carriers. Man, that's an amazing picture. And I should just tip this book up. That's what I'm gonna do. That's 4 carriers from above. There's some of the air squadrons. Yeah, it was really cool. Steel Beach Picnic. Those are always fun. And then Hurghada, Egypt. Just some of the places we went to. And I could go on, but I'm not going to. Like I said, I'm pretty opinionated about my time there. I did well. I accomplished a lot. I went to court-martial, and within 6 months was up for Command Sailor of the Month. So not too bad for someone that probably should have dang near been kicked out, or at best spent time in jail. I think I spent 7 days. But anyway, I just want to share that little quick trip down memory lane. I miss it, and it was nothing like, the ocean is so big, and when I was standing on the coast in San Diego last February, look out in the ocean, just realizing how big it is. And then thinking back to when I was on a carrier and how big a carrier is, and yet you're in the middle of the ocean, you're so little, like you're insignificant. And if you as a person were to fall overboard, which it did happen, finding you would be virtually impossible. So yeah, the ocean is, there's something so amazing about just staring off the back end of a ship or off the upper decks and just looking out. As far as you can see, there's nothing but ocean, and thinking how amazing this creation is that we live on. It's really, really cool. And the ocean is beautiful, it's powerful, it's dangerous, it's serene. Like, there's so many things it is. But anyway, I just wanted to share that little bit with you on towards the end of the Veterans Day 2019. Yeah, I didn't really have much else to say other than just wanted to share that a little bit. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great day. It was chilly outside, but it's going to be nice the next week or so. All right, everybody, have a great night. Stay safe, stay warm. Good night.